Bitch, broke up with a bitch. I said, broke up with a bitch, broke up with a bitch. Said I'll never make it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I am your host, your YouTube miss, sign off and imitator, never duplicators. Subside to Vicious and big over Raw this week was in OKC, Oklahoma City. Got a lot of good friends in the OKC scene. Really dig it, you know. And folks, this is a very special episode for me in particular because, well, today is a very special day for me. It is the 9-year anniversary. This very day is the 9-year mark when somebody thought it was a good idea to let a madman with a camera get on YouTube and just start ranting and rambling about shit that he saw was wrong with, that was going on wrong out there in wrestling. And I am, for everyone that has ever watched the show, whether you've loved it or hated it, everyone that has watched, liked, and shared the show, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my cold, black, evil heart. I cannot express enough on how thankful I am to everyone that has ever taken the time out of their day to hear and listen to me do this. It sounds really cliche, but y'all really do help me out with doing this. And now that I'm done doing the yearly gradatorial thank yous, and also slight brown nosing, I hope we get sponsorships. Let's switch gears and talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It started out with Karrion Kross and Scarlett coming out of a car, and the show starts in the parking lot with there being a car accident. You see Kross and Scarlett getting out of the car, and then McIntyre running out of nowhere and just wham, decking Kross. And honestly, my first thought when I saw the car crash was, and this is on how weird my brain goes, it brought me back to when Undertaker kept trying to run over Vince McMahon with the motorcycle, and it was Vince saying, "I'm going to charge him with attempted vehicular manslaughter." Just like, okay, so Drew McIntyre did, well, it was never proven, but personally, my personal theory, Drew McIntyre attempted vehicular manslaughter on Karrion Kross and then followed up with aggravated assault. All on live television. You can't make this stuff up, folks. This happens in real life. So anyways, now that that's out the way, that was the start of the show. Then they did the intro with the AC/DC song, and then we get to the pyro, and now we're at the first match of the night for SmackDown. And it was Kofi Kingston going against Sami Zayn, and you know, and this is off track a little, but in a way, and I'm not even gonna lie, I feel bad for Xavier Woods. I do. I feel bad for Xavier Woods right now because the news broke yesterday. G4 shut down, and it hasn't even been within a full year, and Woods found out while on a flight, just turning on the airplane Wi-Fi to go like send a text or an email, I think he said, and then he's like, "Well, I just saw the news." Damn. Like, the fuck? Did you couldn't even send out like a company email or something? Like, what the fuck? But I feel bad because I was part of that early 2000s G4 era group of people that freaking love that channel. But yeah, I could do an entire episode on that, but on my feelings on that alone, but we're not going to do that because that said, Kofi Kingston, Sami Zayn. Before the match started, it showed Sami in the back talking to the Usos with Solo there. Sami having a phone call, him answering it being Roman, and Roman telling Jay, make sure Sami wins no matter what. So, Sami Kofi put on a hell of a match. And at the end, Sami Zayn gets the win with the assist from Jey Uso because Kofi does a roll-up on Sami. It's inside cradle, and then 1, 2, and then Jey kicks Kofi over to have Sami reverse it. 1, 2, 3, then gets the win. They show sometime later backstage Sami talking about him, bragging on how he got the win. And then Jey like, man, I'm the one that helped you get that. And Sami's like, whoa, my dog. I did that. I got it. Listen, you can ask. And then Jey just looking over at Soul. Hey, Oos, you watch that? Didn't I help him get that win? I was watching him, man. Sami looked like he had that. And just, you see Jay's look on Jay's face like, the fuck is wrong with all you? Just that look like, damn, this is good. This is damn good entertainment. So, after that, I had Braun Strowman go against 2 local guys. Afterwards, Omos and MVP came out through the crowd to go and cut a promo on them. And then, so, yeah, we're going to get Omos versus Braun Strowman at some point. And I've made it abundantly clear. I'm not normally always a big fan of having giant versus giant because it's like having 2 giant LJN figures just smashing each other in the ring like, glah, 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 glah. But, dude, Braun Strowman versus Omos is just screaming money. Let's get that shit. Mansoor from Maximum Male Models wound up having a match with the returning L.A. Knight. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, dummy. Let me talk to you, and I've been a fan of L.A. Knight, Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him, for a long while. You know, absolutely loved his work when he was in TNA Impact. Really dug the hell out of it. Really dug the hell out of his work. The man made himself stand out. And then, you know, then he got into NXT. Loved the work he did there. I was all on board with him doing the Max Dupree bit because I know, you see the guy's work. You look at the guy's work. He can. You give him a gimmick, he'll work it. You tell him to go out there and be G.I. Joe, he'll go out there and be G.I. Joe. You tell him to go and be a modeling agent, he'll go out there and be a modeling agent. Okay, but I get fans are very fickle in the sense of, well, I like this guy when he was like this, so that's on how they always prefer him, you know? Well, I like Chris Evans as Captain America, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna shit on him if he winds up doing another Buzz Lightyear movie. Either way, though, Mansoor wound up getting his ass kicked by LA Knight afterwards. LA cut a promo and then just basically went heel and shit on the town. So, cool to see on that. There was a 6-women tag match. Bayley, Io, and Dakota going against Roxanne Perez from NXT, Raquel Gonzalez, and Shotzi. Whew. Yeah, and damn good match. I thought it was good. Bayley and her girls got the win with Bayley doing the pin on Roxanne. There was Hit Row having a match against Legado del Fantasma, which debuted last week. And my big question, and I'm not the only one asking this, but big question that needs to be asked, that needs to be addressed more than anything, is where the hell is Elektra Lopez? Because instead of Elektra Lopez, we have Zelina Vega, which I'm not complaining about, but where the hell is Elektra? That's all I'm going to say. Either way, Legado got the win, and I'm pretty sure somewhere out there there's some shit eaters saying, oh, Hit Row got buried because they lost that match, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, dick eater. No. They didn't get buried. Listen, not everyone can always win, and not only that, Legado just debuted, so you gotta give them some ground to build on. You gotta give them a foundation to build on. Finally, last match on SmackDown was a fatal 4-way for #1 contender for the Intercontinental title. Now, Cross was scheduled to be in that match, however, because of the parking lot incident, he was pulled out. We'll get into his replacement in a moment. It was Ricochet versus Solo versus Sheamus, and his replacement was Rey Mysterio, and Rey came into the picture because Triple H was having a conversation with somebody backstage. Rey saw him when he was done. Hey, I talked to you. Listen, this stuff going on with my son, Domink, it's got me at my wit's end. It's tearing my family apart. I can't work. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I quit. And Triple H said, whoa. Let's not get hasty now. Step in my office, let's talk. So instead of quitting, it was announced during the match, Michael Cole announced it, that Rey Mysterio got traded to SmackDown, and we'll get into who he got traded for as the show goes on, because his trade came out on Raw. But Fatal 4-Way, damn good match, really good all around. At some point we need Sheamus versus Solo, because just seeing them two in there was like, ooh, that's money. And Ricochet versus Rey Mysterio. If you've not seen their match from Lucha Underground, pause this now, open up a new tab, look it up on YouTube. When you're done, then come back. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. I hope you watched that Ricochet versus Rey Mysterio match. Now then, Rey wound up getting the win, so Rey's now the #1 contender for the Intercontinental title, and Gunther is going to chop the soul out of Rey. I'm strangely comfortable with this. So yeah, that is it for SmackDown. I think that's the longest SmackDown rewind we've ever done on here. But with that said, let's get into this week's show. Raw OKC. The show literally starts out with Bobby Lashley in mid-promo calling out Brock Lesnar, who returned last week and beat the shit out of Bobby Lashley, which Seth then capitalized on and then became the new United States champion on. Brock came out, them two went at it, and Bobby Lashley went ballistic. I mean, Brock got his fair shots in, but Bobby's the one that walked out of that fight, because he slammed Brock and then threw him over the table and then broke the damn table, and it just you see all the suits and staff come out to go and separate Bobby, and Bobby's like, get off me, get off me. Get off me, while he's backing off, like, get off me, and like, so yeah, we got Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar coming up at Crown Jewel, but the match I want to see with these two guys, more than anything, fucking Hell in a Cell, because, okay, let's face it, we all know Brock Lesnar's history with cage fighting. People should know about Bobby Lashley's history with cage fighting by now. So you already got a small way to work around to build up saying you're going to put these two behemoths in a cage. And, well, the only rule in Hell in a Cell is pinfall or submission in the ring. So let these two fucking monsters go at it in a all-out fucking war zone. Let them fight. Yeah. That's what I want to see. Maybe if we could stretch this out right, if we could stretch this feud out right, maybe, just maybe, we can get this going up into WrestleMania and have that be a Hell in a Cell match. So now that we're done that first match of the night, it is Alpha Academy going against the returning Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and they returned last week to help save AJ Styles. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little iffy about the. Listen, the big LG Luke Gallows met the man, one of, if not the hands down, the most funniest dudes on the planet. Listen, he can make anyone laugh in any kind of way. The guy just has a natural comedic timing. But Carl Anderson, listen, after he got fired, he got all sorts of angry at the company. And I've always been under the mindset of, you want to be mad at the bosses that fired you, by all means, go ahead. But the thing that sticks out with me, and I'm not trying to shit on the guy, if you want to take it as me shitting on him, go ahead, but after what happened with Daphne, word got out that word was reported that WWE was offering grief counseling for anyone that felt that was affected by it, and he basically just blasted them saying, yeah, fuck them. Like, dude, seriously? Like, that's just a major, serious dick move. You want to, I mean, I've been fired by plenty of jobs. Have I been angry at the places that when they fired me? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I have. But you keep those kind of thoughts and your feelings private, and you know what you do? You say, you know what? You wanted to fire me? Alright, motherfucker, you want to fire me? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out there, bust my ass, and show everyone just how damn good I am and why you fucked up by letting me go. Again, that's my mindset, that's my work ethic. Maybe I'm in the wrong for thinking that. Who knows? But either way, Gallows and Anderson versus Alpha Academy. It was good, solid action with Alpha Academy leading into the break. Carl Anderson was the punching bag. Post-break, the big LG came in, started cleaning up. Decent match. It was a good opener. Good, solid for a return, to establish that the Good Brothers have returned. Gallows and Anderson got the win by doing a magic killer onto Gable. Afterwards, Judgment Day came out, and then the gauntlet was officially thrown out for a trios match at Crown Jewel. Judgment Day versus Styles, Gallows, and Anderson. And then AJ also issued a challenge to Domink later on in the night, which he accepted. So we'll get to that match later on. Next up, we got women's tag action. Io and Dakota. Whew boy. Going against Candice LeRae and Bianca Belair. And yes, since Candice is constantly on Raw, I'm going to say this until somebody winds up reaching through those lovely little screens and slaps the living shit out of me. May enjoy that. Candice LeRae is tougher than you. Either way, as far as the match went, Candice, the baby faces, they were leading into the break. Post-break, Bianca was the punching bag for a bit. And then Candice, she got the hot tag in and then became the punching bag herself. Bianca eventually got in. Wasn't a hot tag, but got tagged in eventually. And it was a decent match. Bayley was on commentary, blasting Kevin Patrick. Graves doing his normal spiel with Bayley, saying like, listen, this new guy, I swear, he's at least 1,000 times more tolerable than Cole. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. But match came to an end Bayley and Bianca got at it on the outside over the commentary table, and they're just like, oh my God, they're over the table. And then Io and Dakota wound up doing what, honestly, the best way I could describe it, they both grabbed one leg from Candice and their arm, hoisted her up this way, and then basically did like a reverse Alabama slam where they scooped her up and then dropped her on her face. And just like, ooh, damn. They got the 1, 2, 3, that was it. So, next up we have Dolph Ziggler going against who Rey Mysterio was traded for, and, well, we saw JBL coming out to introduce him, and he was saying, and of course JBL being a wrestling god, wound up emphasizing on how this guy is a modern day wrestling god. And it was the return of Baron Corbin. Not Happy, not King, but Baron. Corbin came out. He was traded. So Raw traded Rey Mysterio for Corbin. JBL was with him to go and say he's basically taking him under his wing. And I know a lot of people have their say about JBL, their opinions on him, blah, 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 blah. Listen, and I got mine. Funny little story. When JBL was doing regular commentary and Trish Stratus announced the birth of her one kid, and JBL was very much so being JBL, like, hey, the kid's named such and such. Who names their kid such and such? And I was like, dude, my godson's at that name. Next thing you know, like an hour later, boop, he blocked me. And I just thought that was kind of, that's my only interaction I've ever had with JBL. But I just thought that was funny, like, wow. But either way, say what you want about the man, he knows on how to draw heat. He can get a heat from a block of ice. Okay? What the fuck does that tell you? And before anyone wants to go into the whole, well, he said all that and he said all this stuff and that stuff when he was feuding with Eddie. Okay, but you got to keep in mind, he was working with Eddie, so it's not like he was just throwing all this shit out there without his consent, one. And two, half a dozen people have all thrown out there openly, Eddie was the one giving him those ideas. So I don't want to hear no shit about, oh, he said all this inappropriate, all this non-PC stuff, all this horrible stuff talking about immigrants and Mexicans and blah, blah, blah. Dude, Eddie was the one fucking feeding them it. Now that I've got on over that, say what you want about the guy, he can draw heat, and he knows it. He knows it, he ain't afraid of it, and he's getting put with Corbin, who honestly does not give a shit if people love him or hate him. So he's already got a good fucking heel mindset already. He does shit intentionally to piss people off. He's a fucking good heel. Personally, I'm not a big fan I've never been a big fan of the guy. But the fact that they're pairing him now with JBL caught my eye, and now I'm just sitting there like, okay. Yeah, you got my interest. I want to see where this goes. JBL is what's selling me on wanting to be interested in Corbin right now. So Corbin going against Dolph Ziggler. Corbin leading early on, strong, had a nice back and forth match. The main story was JBL basically saying he didn't even do much for molding on Corbin. He just needs some small minor fine tuning. But this kid's going to go places. He's going to go far. He's going to be a big champion soon enough. And then match comes to an end. Corbin catches a boot from Ziggler going for a super kick. Grabs him and then hits him with an end of days. 1, 2, 3. Stick a fork in him. He's done. Next match. Uncle Allen, AJ Styles going against Domink. And AJ leading the match. And AJ very much so leading the match like a vet going to teach a youngin like, oh, no, son. You see, you wanted to go and run your mouth. You wanted to go and act like you were God's gift to this business. Come on, I'm gonna work you. I'm gonna work you good. And it was pretty much on how it went. Decent match. I dug it. Domink, he got his licks in, but it was more so AJ leading as the vet looking to teach the youngin who's running his mouth something fierce. Match came to an end with the Good Brothers squawking with Judgment Day on the outside. AJ on the apron, getting ready to go and size him up, size Domink up. And then Rhea wind up grabbing AJ's leg, distracting him. Goes, starts arguing with Rhea, and then next thing you know, Domink gets him with a roll-up. A fucking roll-up. I fucking hate roll-up finishes. Anyways, now we come to main event of the night. Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins for Seth's coveted United States Championship. Before the match happened, though, we saw the return of Elias. Yes, that's right, folks. The smelly hipster's back, so yay. Hooray. I'm ecstatic. Look, this is how happy I am. See my happy face? Yeah. Ugh. Anyways, he was about to go and perform, and then Riddle came out saying, "Can I play too?" With a thing of bong goes, "You want to hit my bong?" Good old weed jokes. Never get tired of them. And then as Elias is getting ready to start, then, oh my God, I've never been so happy to see Seth Rollins come out in my life. So now that we got that, Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins, and for whatever reason, Elias chooses to hang out and be ringside during the whole match. So Riddle, right out the gate, starting strong, going after Seth, pops a triangle in. Seth goes for the ropes right away, ducks outside, going circling around, doing cat and mouse, trying to get some ground on him. But eventually Seth starts to build up a comeback post-break. Now, before the break, though, Elias winds up hitting Seth with a jumping knee, all because at one point when he's on the outside, he's near him, and then he's just like, ugh, and pushes Elias out of his way. And then when the ref's not looking, Elias, boom, pops him with the jumping knee. And Seth, for the most part, he was leading the pace, but with Riddle, it was very much so, no, listen, I'm looking to win this, and I want that belt back, and I'm going to whoop your ass to go and get it. Match came to an end, though. Riddle was building a comeback, did the draping DDT, sizing him up for an RKO, had Seth lined up for it. As he was, though, Elias got into the ring because earlier, prior to that, Seth was doing his shit with Elias again. Seth, boom, popped his foot off of Elias to be able to get out of the move from Riddle, and then proceeded to go and hit him with a curb stomp, and then get the 1, 2, 3. That was it. Then he did a curb stomp to Elias, and then he's had the title under Riddle's face. He's getting ready to go and do a curb stomp to him on that. And then Mustafa Ali came out and attacked Seth because earlier in the night he said he wanted next after Riddle. And Seth looked at him and was like, no. You want a shot, get to the back of the line and wait. And Ali, I'm your problem now. And then proceeded to go and put an ass whooping on him. So, personal prediction, I think we may wind up seeing Mustafa Ali going against Seth at Crown Jewel. I wouldn't mind that. Especially if they do it for the title. But, so that is it for this week's show, folks. So please do not forget to like the video. Easy for me to say. Fuck. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch them in the episodes when you can. If you can, even look at episode 1 all those 9 years back and see on how much of a difference we went from then to now. Also, don't look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Thank you to my executive producer, Lerae Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details are down below for his music. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, check out whatamaneuver.net for some vicious rants apparel. Help support the show. Perfect time given the holiday season's coming up. Perfect gift for someone you love or someone you hate, or just if you need the shirt to go and get the Goodwill. Also, folks, don't forget to follow these cool ass cats right on Twitter. Can you kill it? DSB_IV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants and Dubs in your face. And folks, for 9 years going strong, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.